Pakistan not only means freedom and independence, but the Muslim ideology which has to be preserved, which has come to use as a precious gift and treasure, and which we hope others will share with us. They will become godly when they will have God in their hearts. Every man holds inspiration. You have to have a seeing eye. Dean, what about you? Kiran, seeing the future. Kiran, I want to be able to see the future. Dean, feeling anxious about the future. Kiran, yeah, always. Kiran, especially lately. Dean, how's your mom? BTW. Kiran, too bad determined. Kiran, it's just a waiting game now. Dean, okay, I know my real answer now. Dean, healing powers. Dean, definitely healing powers. Kiran, heck Kiran, you're a good guy. Dean, only for you. Nasser, about Omar, haven't you trained him up to look after you, like I have done with my girls? Papa, he brushes the dust from one place to another. He squeezes shirts and heats soup, but that hardly stretches him. Though his food stretches me, it's only for a few months. Yar, I'll send him to college in the autumn. Nasser, though he failed once. He has this chronic laziness that runs in our family, except for me. Papa, if his arse gets lazy, kick it. I'll send a certificate giving permission. And one more thing. Try and fix him up with a nice girl. I'm not sure if his penis is in full working order. The real reason for Father Berganza's laughter was the history of Amrapur. It was a quaint town. Nestled amidst barren mountains, the Hindus and Muslims living there were perpetually warring with each other, reacting violently at the slightest provocation. It had started a long time ago, this squabble, and had escalated into a terrible war. Some people say it started centuries ago, but many believe it started when the country gave one final, fierce shrug to rid itself of British rule. The shrug quickly became a relentless shuddering, and countless people were uprooted and flung into the air. Many didn't survive. Perhaps the mountains of Amrapur absorbed the deracinating wave. People were cruelly plucked from the town. They remained there, festering, becoming irate, and harboring murderous desires, and while the country was desperately trying to heal its near-mortal wounds and move on, Amrapur's dormant volcano erupted, momentary and overlooked, but devastating. Leaders emerged on both sides and, driven by greed, they fed off the town's ignored bloodshed. They created ravines out of cracks, fostered hatred, and Gurukar, the Bhatt family, the erstwhile rulers of the ancient town, adopted the legacy of their British rulers: divide and conquer. Pakistan is a visibly perturbed and divided nation. Its people are struggling to find an answer to the mother of all questions. What sort of a Pakistan do they want along a spectrum of choices, ranging from an orthodox, religious state to a modern, enlightened one? India and Pakistan fighting over Kashmir is like two sons fighting over their father's estate. To them, Kashmir is not a people, but a possession. And obsession over possession only brings destruction. I'd morphed, altered, nipped, and tucked away bits of my personality for so long. I no longer recognized myself. I feared that one day, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to identify myself. I'd be forever trapped in an image of another's making, and there would be no escape because I would have forgotten to want to escape. Nida. The 3 flower shops were obliterated, the petals of the once dewy flowers and their sellers' flesh burnt together. The people reacted and like the birds they did, not react in unison, turn towards the narrow streets near the masjid. Trampling over the old and limping beggars, they pushed and shoved and cursed and cried. The birds circled in the air, pitying the humans who had lost their humanity. Most Pakistanis would rather gloss over inconvenient truths or content, with blaming different villains for their country's plight. When confronted with unpleasant facts, Pakistanis have constantly forgotten that offers of autonomy and recognition of linguistic and cultural separateness is often a better option than imposing greater centralization by force. Pakistanis have internalized the threats, imagined and real, to the political stability and security of their country, an overwhelming fear of continued chaos and violence, if not outright disintegration, has made it difficult to arrive at balanced assessments of a disturbing present in order to plan for the future as a unified and coherent nation. Most of all, I remember the 3 of them operating during that time as if they were a single person, sharing a single meal, a single body. Plight of a Pakistani thesis that the world sees us as a terrorist nation. Why is it so, despite our love and care for family? Why do you deem us as extremist foe? As responsible citizens with a beating heart, we to want for our kids a world of peace, yet, whenever there's an act of terror, why are we at the top of your suspect list? Every nation has terrorist elements. The Capitol insurrection is proof of it. But how can you blame an entire people for the acts of a bunch of bigoted misfits? We don't ask you to show us pity. Just keep in mind we too are part of humanity. I'm interested in things, Wemendo, that aren't spoken about. Manto's stories let me breathe. They make me feel like less of a monster. My Pakistanis, you have not left me alone, and I promise I will never leave you alone, inshallah. Thank you for watching me YouTube channel.